Zaire, you're a better guy. You've heard Coach speak before. When you're meeting a new coach in the first team meeting, do you sit back and wait and see, is this going to be corny or inspirational? Like, how do you separate the message and the man and try to put it all together and buy in?
Well, obviously, all coaches, they all got their founding principles, things that they're going to stand on. So, it's always just kind of interesting, I guess, at this point to kind of sit back and see, what are the building blocks, what is the foundation, he's looking to set. But, most like anything, trust is something that's built over time, from him and us. So, just looking forward, to the opportunity for us to get to know him to get to know us, and let's build this thing, over this, next couple of weeks, and then going into camp to the season.
I know you dealt with it last year in free agency, watching Bobby and EJ go through it. What was that like?
Oh man, it's always good when the boys get paid now. You know what I mean? So seeing my boy Bobby it's crazy. I was just in there watching some plays from last year. Man, he's a hell of a player. So definitely somebody I miss in the building. Not only from just playing with him, but just seeing Bobby in the building, knowing how he carrying it. We came in together, been around for a long time, and then obviously was big on getting speed back. Knew we needed speed back. Man, he do so much for our team, just from not only from just on the field, obviously a playmaker and stuff, but just from an energy, his mentality. You need to keep your dogs in the building now. So I was doing my fair share of recruiting. We was in Hawaii at the time, so I was kind of trying to, like, look, maybe we could do this every year. So, but I'm happy that he's back, happy that the boys got their check, so that's all that matters.
Clark talked about needing the reset button after the season, and Pitt talked about watching plays and being like, how did we not win more games?
Mm-hmm.
What were the first couple of weeks after the year ended like for you?
Man, woosah. And they definitely needed to just kind of take a step back and just kind of breathe. Last year was a lot, mentally, emotionally, obviously physically. So just trying to take that step back. But then once you kind of get back into it, it is super frustrating. Watching these games. We watching film today. I'm watching Minnesota. Like, what? Like, you know what I mean? We watching, so, but it's so many games, but that's the difference in the league. And, it's funny, just sitting and talking to, a couple guys in the building, and just, all that stuff, it starts now. Obviously we got scars from last year, different things that we all, wish went a different way, but, we got to heal together. We got to come together now. Like I said, just looking forward to getting together as a group, working through these things.
Zaire, although you have a new head coach, the majority of the entirety of this defensive staff remains the same.
Mm-hmm.
Defo talked about the continuity that you have within this defense. What is the bar that set the expectations of this defense, and being among the leaders, among the veterans, what do you reinforce during this period of time about what you do at this time of year to start the season in the fashion that you want, being that it is a second year?
Well, obviously having Gus back and the whole group back is great because it's something to build on. We talking, once you get into the system, you first learning, and when they first come around, you're learning, how they call things. You're learning terminology. You're learning, different rules, and now you're learning the basics. But, once that's kind of already in, now you can start to really fine-tune those details, not just talking about, okay, what's your assignment, what's your rules in this. You're talking about, okay, well, how can I get, a half a second faster by this step? How can I actually see these plays coming? How can I actually, because now you understand how teams are attacking you. You kind of understand how we like to respond and how we want to go about those things. So, having them back is obviously a great bonus. And then, like you said, for us, me, Buck, Kenny, Grove, D. Leonard, it's just, for us, it's just really just building on that. We got to show the guys how we work. We got a standard that we've had since we've been in here. And that doesn't change. The standard is always to be the best on the field, the best defense on the field, regardless of what team we playing. So, and like I said, that starts now. So for us, that's just, showing them, whether it's workouts, whether that's practices, whether that's in the film room, just constantly competing. And once they see that the best guys are trying to, do their best version, try to do their best, to get the best out of themselves, and constantly trying to raise their level, everybody will follow suit. So.
How have you seen Shaq progress, and what excites you about potentially having him back fully healthy, EJ in a bigger role? You obviously had a breakout year last year, and just having that be the core of the linebacker room.
Oh, no question. Obviously, having a guy like him back, man, is gonna make a whole lot of things better. So, I had spent some time with him in Tampa. We were both getting after it. I know for him, last year was a lot for him. Both on and off the field. So, I think for him, just getting back into that routine, getting back to that rhythm, you know, I'm in there, I see him in there every day just doing everything he can to get back. So just taking his time, he got a long road to it, but, you know, I know he's making some progress and, you know, he'll be ready to go.
Can you physically see some progress, or is it too early to say?
You know, it's crazy. So when we in Tampa, we both do that's why we both like it. We both do completely individualized workouts. So like we working out together at the same time, but I'm kind of doing my own thing. I'm on my own program, working through the things I got to work through. He working things he got to work through. So, but I know he had it after it. You know, I know it's no you know, lack of work that he's putting in, and I know he's feeling good about the progress he's making. So
you're there 5 in the morning too, like him?
yeah, you know, it's crazy because I was trying to tell him like, look, like 6 is probably a better thing, but no, I'm 5:30. So I'm like, nah, all right, come on. I ain't going to pull up 30 minutes into yours. So I'm like, all right, I'll do the 5:30 with you then. So yeah, we was both there early too. So.
How would you describe his morale, like, after the second surgery based off maybe where he was September, October, just fighting through it?
You know, I think for him, you know, just, you know, happy to, you know, get a little more clarity on the situation. And, you know, I don't want to speak for him, but, you know, I can understand that, you know, once you go through a procedure, when you get any procedure, it's obviously some, you know, nervousness and some feelings towards that, and especially when you get it done, and it may not feel the way that you expected it to feel. So I know after the second one, he felt a lot better after it. You know, kind of had a lot more clarity, was able to really step out the building and see some specialists and stuff like that too. So, you know, like I said, I don't really want to speak too much on his situation, but, you know, I know that for him to be able to have those surgeries and those different procedures behind him and just be able to focus on what you could focus on is probably definitely a big step for him. So.
What's the buy-in process like for you guys, maybe specifically the defense? Pivot, when you're talking about how the offense, they can maybe jump onto an offensive coach a little faster just because they know that's how the ball better. What is it like for you, and how skeptical are you? You've seen a lot, and not a lot has been great. So here's a new guy. How skeptical are you, or how do you go?
I wouldn't say it's really more skeptical, but like I said before, it's a lot about trust. And, you know, I think for us, you kind of just got to sit back. You know, I'm one of those type of guys that, you know, I kind of sit back and just kind of see how everything plays out in front of me. Obviously, I play my role and do what I got to do, but, you know, it's just something that, like I said, we got to work through and build through over time. You know, I told Shane when I met with him, you know, I like to compete. You know, obviously we competed against him. We played him in a real game, and he made a real call that won the game. So from that standpoint right there, you obviously know that, you know, he understands the game. He loves ball. He's all about it. Obviously, he's competitive. I told him I'm competitive too. So I'm looking forward to, you know, going against his offense and OTAs and stuff like that too. So, you know, it's an iron sharpen iron thing. And like, you know, his message was really all about, it's not really about any of us individually. It's about us coming together as a team. So, you know, I'm just looking forward to that chance for us to kind of getting together, working through it, coming together, and having something to build on, something to stand on coming into the fall.
You talked about the end of the season. You had your best season throughout the season that collectively wasn't that great. So I guess how does it motivate you even more to maybe do it again, and then also have it be a collective, you know, effort?
I mean, for me, last season was obviously a great opportunity, but, you know, the way I look at it, it's not like, you know, I went in and had some up and down years. That's what it looked like when I get an opportunity. You know, when I'm allowed to play, that's what I'm able to do on the field. So, you know, when I look at, you know, the games that I had, I feel like I left a lot of meat on the bone, respectfully, just in terms of making, you know, plays and doing things to change the game. So I'm constantly pushing myself. I'm constantly, you know, trying to find ways to get that edge, to be better. And, you know, for me, I look at that like, all right, look, that's what my standard is. How far can I take it? I'm just looking at it, and I don't know, I'm obsessive about it. I love it. Like, you know what I mean? It's something that I really passionate about, something I really care about. So I'm just looking for an opportunity. I'm looking forward to the opportunity to continue to build on that, be out there with my guys, being out there with Buck, Grove, D. Leonard, Kenny, and let's get this thing spinning. Let's really see how dominant we could be. So.
Zaire, you talk about, you know, the grind of the season. You get away, you just say, you know, you're in Hawaii, you're doing things, you're getting bored, looking for things to binge watch. How soon does your mind turn and say, all right, now I'm ready to get back at it?
You know, after the season, I mean, it's hard because, you know, after the season, you're still watching the game. So you're watching the playoffs, and you know, you're watching teams that you played against, and, you know, it doesn't help that the two best performances that we had was against the two teams that went to the Super Bowl. So then you like, well, maybe we know something, you know, maybe we figure something out. So, you know, but it's what I learned, from, a lot of my mentors in the league, B-Wags, Sherman, a lot of those guys, KJ Wright, a lot of those guys over there is, it's never that you stop working. It's just, the mode turned up and turned down at certain points. So, obviously I, banged my ankle up after the year, so I was still kind of rehabbing that, working through some things. And, it's just kind of like a slow dial. You just constantly turning that fire on and on and on and on, but it's burning now for sure.
You mentioned you made a real call in a real game that won the game. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do. I vividly remember that play. Huh? Yeah, the call. They schemed me up. I ain't mad at it, but it is what it is. But nah, and I think even Gus obviously had a relationship with him back to the days in LA, and after the game, me, Gus talked about it. I guess they had a conversation about it. Just about something that they seen or read that they saw, a bind that they could put me in the run pass situation. Whether because the week before they had threw a little pop pass to win a game, and and then I was kind of playing for that, and then obviously Jalen runs the ball. But I think that just speaks to his gamesmanship, his understanding. And even speaking to him, I think it's just his competitive nature. I think he loves to win, he loves to compete, and it's funny talking to him about the game because he was like, I knew we were going to win, and I'm like, I ain't know y'all ain't know y'all was going to win, but but no, I think that's just what he loved the game. He's all ball. He's got his foot to the gas, and I think you guys could kind of see from that meeting that, he's turned up about it. He's ready to get after it, and I think, that's the type of energy that we needed in the building. And like I said, we're gonna see how it all shapes.
How do you keep a level head when it could be more changes coming? Obviously, the draft is coming up. Could be a rookie quarterback. And I guess just from your perspective on that side of the ball, how do you, just keep it even? And we talk about it like just, I guess, thriving in a place of uncertainty.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the NFL, like that's the business of it. When you don't perform, when you don't, play at the level that you expected to, changes happen. People, every year is new guys coming in, that'll never change. And I was just telling one of my young fellas too, like, if there's new guys coming in, that means somebody got to get out because they don't make no more spots. You know what I mean? So that's just really just a part of the game. So for me, obviously, what's going to happen in the draft, what's not going to happen in the draft, look, I'm not making no decision. I'm not casting not one ballot, so I'm not going to stress about it not one night. But, I think it's interesting. It's fun to talk about. It's fun to speculate about. But, I'm sure they're going to make the right decision.